Hello Leo friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my video, Leo November 2020, Astrology Must Knows. This is the time of the year that everyone who has been wanting more action and breaking out of stagnation, this is the time we've been waiting for, and as fire signs, I'm also a fire sign, it's going to be very exciting. The month in the beginning, the energy of the beginning of November is going to be completely different than the energy at the end of November. Okay, so in the beginning of November, we still have Mercury, Mars, and Neptune retrograde, and Mercury goes direct in the first week, unfortunately on election day, which is going to probably be very chaotic and confusing and lead to some issues, but you'll see that like the high emotion and the confusion and the uncertainty that has been present really through October is going to still be reigning supreme in that first week or so of November. But with every day that we march through the month, Mercury gets online, Mars, the ruler of oomph and forward movement and zest and ambition, comes alive on November 14th. And this is really exciting for everybody, but especially for Leo placements, because this Mars retrograde has been moving through Aries. And that has been able to be really, really positive for Leos, even through the whole Mars retrograde cycle, which really started at the end of July with the pre-shadow period. But now that things are moving forward, things that you've been doing in the backdrop or figuring out can really start to become tangible. If you have to launch something, if you have to make a big decision, if you have to do something important, the window for that is finally opening up, especially towards the end of November into December and even the beginning of January. And because Mars is in Aries, it's making this beautiful angle for Leos. So when it moves forward, it's going to have extra zest. So you'll see your creativity come alive. You'll see your projects come alive. You'll see, anything that you've been working on involving your romantic sector, children, hobbies, fun, things with your bucket lists. Like if you had to cancel an international trip because of everything that went on with COVID, things might start to open up for that planning again in November, December, and January. Now, do know that the eclipses often bring new information, okay? So even if you're starting to get your clarity as November goes on, just know that if you're picking between option A and B, option C or D or E may come in as the eclipses continue to bring their news, and that's going to happen throughout the rest of November and December. So if you get that feeling it's not quite time to do something, you might be intuitively waiting on more information. The eclipses in general are going to be very positive for Leo placements because they're in fire and air signs, okay? Now, of course, I can't see what's going on in your chart. There could be other hits that you're getting to other planets that you have that I can't see that could cause challenges or something not as positive. But in general, this whole eclipse cycle of Gemini Sagittarius that started at the middle of 2020 and goes through the end of 2021 has a chance to be super favorable for Leo placements. And this month, you can see the effects of the December eclipse starting to come in, and you'll see the effects of the November eclipse really starting to gel. And this, again, can have anything to do with the children, the romance, the creative projects, stepping into your, highest path, anything having to do with teaching or learning or immigration or travel or anything with your church or your spiritual processes, or, if you're wanting to write a book and launch a book, all of this stuff is really, really coming alive for you. If you've been looking for alternative things for work, this is also something that can gel. And partly that is coming in through these things that I just mentioned. And partly it's coming in because we're having the last aspect of the Pluto-Jupiter conjunction. Okay, this Pluto-Jupiter conjunction is a really, really big deal because when outer planets get together in the sky, this is rare because there are 360 degrees in the whole orbit or running track through the sky, as I like to call how the planets are moving. And when outer planets, the ones that take really long to get around, cross each other's paths, they're hanging out next to each other for a while. So just to give you kind of an understanding of this energy, when Jupiter and Pluto last got together before this year, it was around 2008 when the subprime lending market, crashed, and then everything happened, as an effect from that, people losing their homes and all of the financial sectors getting rocked. Well, when that happened, Jupiter and Pluto only came together once and did that. Now this year we had 3 passes. If you ever heard of that saying, things happen in threes, I believe that that's astrological because sometimes the way retrograde orbits occur, a planet will cross over another planet, the faster moving one will overtake, the slower moving one, and then it will retrograde back over, that's the second pass, and then it will go over again, that's the third pass. And when that happens, we get a more intense, more thorough experience of whatever the lessons are of those combinations. And that's what we had in 2020. April 4th, June 30th, and now the last pass in November 12th. So this is, really, really, really intense for everybody, but the final chapter is coming. Now, of course, that doesn't mean like everything ends and goes completely back to normal now. It never will completely go back to normal for many people, and some sectors will just return to normalcy over time. But the things that were not sustainable, that needed to shift, are going to start to have their new footing and go into their next evolution, which is the Aquarius evolution, which really, gels in December. But we're starting to see the whispers of what that's going to look like now. And as I've mentioned before, and I know I talked about this in the October report, once Saturn and Jupiter get out of Capricorn and into Aquarius, that energy is much more conducive to the flow of Leo energy, because you've been having this 150-degree angle of these Capricorn planets really harassing you, especially in your health house. Okay, so the health house or pets or your work sector for Leos have really been getting rocked over the long term. And for some people, like, you've seen things gel for you, like maybe over recent years your work situation really gelled, because the same factors that cause burdens or hardships, which is Saturn, Saturnian energy, which rules the Capricorn, those are the same factors that gel things into life. Okay, so these things have been happening, but they've been happening at an awkward angle for you. So that's going to be passing along, but you might notice something in those areas, some kind of resolution with your health, or some kind of bringing out of a root cause of an issue, or something happens to somebody that and it makes you actively change your diet, your lifestyle. Managing stress is another huge piece for Leos with this aspect. And this is going to move on then into Aquarius, but we still have this time where it's like this final bump. So let's hope that it brings solutions, and know that if it's not bringing solutions, it might have to bring more things to the light in order for you to be able to shift what you have to shift. Okay, so the sectors that are going to be accentuated for Leo placements for the Gemini eclipse, which is November 30th, are work and career. Every Leo might see work and career affected from the eclipse. As you've just heard me talk about, your work and career is affected because of the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction in Capricorn, which rules the 10th house, which is where this eclipse is going to be featured. But then also your 6th house relates to your work, and it's happening there. So now here you've got a third level. Okay, so those of you who are in the early degree placements, so we'll say that's like July born Leos, or like even early August, and into from all of July into the first few days of August, you all might have the eclipse happen or have the eclipse flavor your 11th house. But still, you will also be feeling it in the 10th house. When it's at an early degree like this, even if it's in a certain house, which in this case, like I said, for you all in the earlier part, it could fall into the 11th house. But it's right on the line there between the 11th and 10th house. Okay, so for all of you in the July born or early August, besides your work and career, you might also see things having to do with your friendships, social media, nonprofits, community-based projects, internet-based projects, anything having to do with your relationship to social media, your friendships, your social circles. Those are also going to radically be transformed with this eclipse. If you want to understand more about how this eclipse may affect you, I have a whole eclipse series that I put together that explains everything that I can remember ever seeing as a manifestation from eclipses, from doing thousands of readings over almost 2 decades. And so you can go to Annie Botticelli and go to the playlist that I have, or you can just search for them individually. So for all Leos, look for Annie Botticelli, eclipses in Gemini, okay, because that's the sign that the eclipse is in. Oh, and by the way, those same of you who are in that, we'll say more towards the very end of July, you're going to be, getting extra kisses. The closer to 8 degrees you are, or the closer to like the 27th, 28th, 29th of July your birthday is, you'll have a full-on 60-degree angle from this eclipse. But that will echo out in both directions. Okay, so July born and then early August born will get extra awesome angle from this, but all Leos are included in the positive yummy potentials. Okay, so everyone's going to look at eclipses in Gemini. I would say go ahead and look at the eclipses in Sagittarius as well, because that one is in December and you might start to feel that in November. Okay, so Annie Botticelli eclipses in Sagittarius. Then for those of you in July born in the first few days of August, look for eclipses in Aquarius or 11th house. Okay, and then all Leos look for eclipses in Capricorn or 10th house. Okay, so that will give you, all of that information will give you a really good idea as to what types of specific things you might see. I've mentioned quite a few already, but you can see more details if you want to go in and do some extra homework to get really prepared for this. Okay, so if you would like to know the sweet dates this month, the salty dates, what the aspects are, what can happen from them, what the general written overview of the month is, all of this in writing 1 month early delivered into your inbox, then go to anniehelpsyou.com, sign up for my free email newsletter. You'll also get Shine, my 28-day virtual coaching program, for free in the welcome letter when you sign up. And I don't spam you, so you don't have to worry about that. I only send out 3 newsletters a month, and they all have to do with more information on how you can use the current energies to make the most of them. If you'd like to have some free courses, go to my school, Luminous Life Multiversity, at lumelife.com, LUME life.com. All the links I'm giving you are also in the notes underneath the video. So I have some free courses, including Unleash Your Money Magnet. I also have my paid courses, including Become a Professional Astrologer Mastery course. So if you resonate with how I teach and you want to learn, and as part of your work changes, if you want to start to get into astrology or bring it to a current, position that you already have, or you just want to go deep into your own process and help your friends and family, then you will love my course. It is so comprehensive, it will blow your mind. You can see that at lumelife.com. If you want written horoscopes by me, you can go to cozybysweetstarlight.com, and I do those a month early as well, and you'll see other astrology-kissed healthy lifestyle blogs. And the final announcement is that my book, Planetology, How to Align with the Natural Rhythms of the Universe, this beautiful, long, detailed reference book that you will go to again and again to help you stay on track with the natural rhythms, is going to be available in the first week of December. Amazon is having some kind of crazy discount on it for pre-order at this time that I'm recording this. So you might want to go and pre-order it, because that is because the price will go to normal when it comes out in December. So you can see that on Amazon. You can just search for Annie Botticelli Planetology, and you can get it at any major bookseller. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.